This is Tim Bryce with my column titled, What Exactly is an Assault Weapon? We're hearing a lot from politicians about banning assault weapons. There is a misguided assumption that all military-like rifles are automatic weapons, thereby posing a danger to society and should be banned. This is simply not true and is indicative of how naive the public and politicians can be. As such, the following dissertation will seem elementary to people familiar with guns, but to others it is sorely needed. First, let us understand the various types of guns available, but not air rifles and pellet guns, which can also be dangerous if mishandled. First, we have shotguns. They make use of a case load consisting of pellets or shot, thereby denoting the name. This is typically discharged using a rifle-like weapon which can be fired one round at a time and is used to hunt small wild game and target shooting, such as trap and skeet. Such weapons may hold only one shot, two, or multiple shots, usually up to 7, which is loaded either by pump action or a semi-automatic load, which we'll talk about shortly. Single shots are older rifles used to discharge a single shot at a time, usually with bolt action, or muskets featuring black powder and ball. Revolvers feature a chambered cylinder typically holding 5 to 6 rounds. The bullets are fired as fast as the shooter can pull the trigger, one at a time. Semi-automatics have a magazine or clip containing rounds, usually 6 or more, depending on the magazine's capacity, such as 20, 30, or even more. A semi-auto simply loads one round at a time into the chamber, and like a revolver, the bullets can be fired as fast as the shooter can pull the trigger, one at a time. The biggest difference between the semi-auto and the revolver is the former can hold more rounds and is easier to reload ammunition. Semi-autos can be found in shotguns, handguns, and rifles. Automatic weapons allows the discharge of many rounds by pulling the trigger once and stopping by releasing the trigger. Automatic weapons are commonly referred to as machine guns. They can automatically load a bullet into a chamber, discharge it, expel the spent casing, and reload the next round again and again, all in the blink of an eye. Consequently, there is a big difference between automatic and semi-automatic weapons, and this plays an important part in the confusion over assault weapons. Perhaps the two most criticized weapons are the AR-15 and the AK-47. People fallaciously believe the A in the model number means assault. No, not even close. The AR-15 means Armalite Model 15 and was developed by Colt in the early 1960s. The AK-47 means Avtomat Kalashnikov Model 47 and was developed in Russia. The two are certainly not synonymous and have significant differences. However, the design of the AK-47 began in 1945 and came to prominent military use in the 1960s. It was considered durable and reliable, so much so it inspired many other rifle designs. The AR-15 is a lightweight semi-auto with a 20-round magazine. In this regard, it is essentially no different than a semi-auto handgun, which can hold a comparable load, yet can be concealed more easily than a rifle. However, the AR-15 can be configured with different barrels and a caliber of ammunition. The AK-47, on the other hand, has a curved 30-round magazine, but there are also 40-round and 75-round magazines available. In 1974, the Soviets replaced the AK-47 with an improved design in the form of the AK-74. Although the AK-47, its successor, is initially designed as a semi-auto, it can be configured as an effective automatic weapon, which is how the American public perceives an assault weapon. There's one problem with the AK-47, purchasing one, as automatic weapons are incredibly difficult to obtain in this country. However, it is possible to legally obtain an AK-47, but to do so, the purchaser has to go through a rigorous background check. Even if you pass the test, the AK-47 is incredibly expensive, making it cost prohibitive to own one. The AK-47 was specifically designed for military use. The AR-15 was not. So comparing the AR-15 to the AK-47 is like comparing apples with oranges. They are distinctly different in design and use. Anyone trying to compare them in the same breath simply doesn't know what they are talking about. Whereas the AR-15 is more akin to semi-auto handguns, the AK-47 is more comparable to a Thompson machine gun. Following the last federal assault weapons ban held from 1994 to 2004, the Department of Health and Human Services conducted a follow-up study and concluded, quote, "The task force found insufficient evidence to determine the effectiveness of any of the firearms laws reviewed for preventing violence," end quote. In other words, the ban did nothing to reduce violent behavior, and maybe that is just the point. It is more about behavior or mental instability. What I have tried to describe herein is basic information. Hunters and gun lobbyists already understand this, but the American public is still naive, which is why I am a big proponent of gun education in public schools. Someone who is educated about guns makes a lousy target, as he or she will know what to do in the event of an emergency and will have more of a chance to survive an attack. Let us not forget the one organization that champions such education. That's right, the NRA. So, what is an assault weapon? It ultimately depends on how it is used. From this perspective, all guns can be used for wreaking havoc on the public in a deadly melee. Let us suppose the AR-15 and AK-47 were outlawed, as well as handguns. Even then, there's enough capability in a semi-automatic shotgun to inflict considerable damage. So, do we outlaw all guns? This, of course, will be a test of the Second Amendment. Obviously, there is nothing wrong with these weapons when they are properly used, but it is the mental stability of the person pulling the trigger which is in question, and a subject nobody wants to discuss. But getting back to our original proposition, when we discuss assault weapons in the future, let us not mix apples with oranges. Friends, keep the faith. This is Tim Bryce in Palm Harbor, Florida. Follow me on the internet at timbryce.com.